Hi there, it's Melissa and welcome back to my channel. Today I am really excited to be the guest for Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, and Christy is doing 30 days of sketches in September, and this is the sketch that she gave me, and it's a Christmas themed one which I thought was perfect because we'd talked about collaborating and we'd both mentioned that we were behind on scrapping our Christmas photos. So this is a photo from 2014. That's where I'm up to with Christmas. I've done my December dailies, but I also like to scrap some of the photos for my family album and also for my children's album. So what I did was, to get that tabbed piece above the sketch, I used that on the side there, a black dye, and just run it through my Big Shot. I've got the Big Shot Express, which is it's kind of lazy, but it's smaller and it's electronic, which I like. So what I'm doing there is just cutting the pieces for the top, and I love the sketch so much that for the most part I go with it. And so when I cut that piece, I left the branding strip on the bottom, but I cut it too thin. So what I needed to do was get another piece to go on top, and the sketch did show a small piece on top anyway, but when it comes to paper layers and things, I just use sketch as a guide. But I did want to have the scalloped border, so I'm just adding that with my Stampin' Up! Punch. And I knew that I wanted to do some machine stitching, so I just want to position that bottom piece where I want it and then just overlay my top piece, because I want to do my stitching and leave enough room to fold up the bottom of that pink paper. So this is the 2016, last year's hip kit for December. The December hip kit is always a Christmas themed one, and I had Ava in November, so there was no way I was going to keep up. I mean, I'm not keeping up with my kits at the moment anyway. And so I've had this kit and I absolutely love it. It's got lots of the Snow and Cocoa collection in it from Crepe Paper, and I was really excited to see that Crepe Paper has re-released that collection this year. I mean, I don't have to be keeping up with the latest and greatest, but this collection is gorgeous. There are also some exclusive hip kit papers. I think that star one is an exclusive. So what I'm doing here is I'm wanting this to be perfect because I want it to look like it's one piece. So I've lined up that piece that I've cut with the die cut, and then this is how I'm going to make sure it's perfect. I've measured so I get the exact sizing, and then I'm going to put that underneath and line it up so that you'd never know that it's two pieces of paper. So there we go. And this photo is of Azaria, so it's from 2014. And this was back when she was just frozen mad. That sounds really mean. Not frozen mad, mad about Frozen, Frozen obsessed. And so the story behind this layout is that Sean searched everywhere for Frozen dolls, because back then you couldn't get them anywhere. I remember looking in our local warehouse and you just couldn't get them. So he had to get them from China or somewhere. And so it was a big deal, and we knew she'd be really excited about it, and of course she was. So I'm trying to think, 2014, she would have been 7, because now she's not 7, no, she's 6. She's 8 now, and she's like totally over Frozen. She's not interested at all. Brielle's more interested in her, so yeah, I was really keen to get this scrapped. And the sketch showed 2 photos, but I just decided to go with the one, and I often do that. And that's the whole thing about making the sketch work for you. So I'm just adhering this now and using the biggest roll of double-sided tape in terms of width that I've ever seen. And I'm just adding some gold splatters. I felt that my white cardstock was a bit stark and needed something else. So these are like the main paper elements that I'm getting down. And that's Brielle's little hand. She's going, look, Anna and Elsa. Or they say Anna, but we'd say Anna. Anyway, and I forgot to say that I did use my Stampin' Up! Notebook edge punch, because the journaling card had a notebook edge on it as well. And I selected that piece of paper because it's got lines on it, and I thought that would be easier for me to write on. So here I'm just trimming off the excess, and what you saw before was Brielle wanted to help me glue it down, so that was quite sweet. I machine stitched, as I talked about. I just trimmed off those extra threads, and now I'm just adding some texture by bending up the edges of that paper. So now I want to really make a feature of that Christmas tree that's on sketch, and I decided, because this was a Christmassy sketch and Christy and I had talked on Messenger about Christmas, that rather than just use that tree as a guide for a big embellishment, I decided to actually make the tree. So I tried, and I'm not the best at drawing, but I've just hand drawn because I want it to be quite organic, and I could use my silhouette, but I want it to look handmade. And you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, what are you doing with that red cardstock? But I'm just using it as a guide. And so I've numbered them, and just trying to get them looking a bit better than they are. And I like the fact that I totally hand drew it and hand cut it. And then I went through these doilies, and Kelly Moore, if you're watching, these are the ones that you sent me, and I think they're freckled fawn. And I had this idea to make the tree out of doilies. I don't know if this has been done before. It probably has. It's probably not my idea, but anyway, to me it was my idea. But if someone else has done it, then yeah. There's only so many ideas in the world, you know what I'm trying to say. So what I did was fold the doilies over and then use some double-sided tape just to secure them or adhere them together. And then I wanted to position them over the shape that I've cut, and then I've just put another piece of double-sided tape. I knew that I wanted to do some machine stitching with this in some way, but I wasn't sure how. So I'm not going to show every single bit of this because I think it would be quite boring, but you can see what I've done. I've just trimmed around the edge, and I've left the frilly edge of the doily in the half circle on the bottom. And so here they all are. And so yeah, I don't use those red bits at all, they're just a guide. And what am I doing now? Up to the last one. I thought I'd cut this bit out, but anyway. And I've trimmed it a bit bigger than each of those red pieces of cardstock because I did want to make the tree a little bit bigger. So not really sure why I didn't cut this out, but anyway, bear with me. So gluing it down, I think the top one, the tealy greeny coloured one, I could only put one layer of doily on because it was so small. So there they are there, all 4 pieces. And now I'm just looking at how I'm going to position them together. And yeah, just laying them out. Now the top one isn't that great. It's not that perfect, and I'm not that happy with it, but there's nothing I could do about it. I mean, I'm not about perfection. That's my favourite Vilna Furstenberg quote, is that she's not about perfection. I'm not about perfection either. So here you can see that I've machine stitched, and I just went around the edge of the doily in the half circle, and I did think about leaving the threads long, but in the end you can't even really see that I've stitched only the top one. So it's like fringe. When you stitch fringe, you'd only see the stitching on the top. And so now I'm positioning them and just using double-sided tape. And the real reason that I stitched them as well was because I wanted it to have some secure have those doilies securely attached, is what I'm trying to say, because some of them are double layered, and just a little bit of double-sided tape, once you cut the edge off, it wouldn't suffice for holding them. So I'm looking at them and still thinking that I want the threads long, but it just doesn't look right. So here I go. It's like Edward Scissorhands here, just giving it a trim, and it looks much better once I've done that. So like I say, I'm not 100% happy with the angle of the top one because I'd cut them, as you can see on those red bits, kind of angular, kind of asymmetrical, not perfect. But when it came to laying the doilies on them, it ended up quite perfect except for the top one. So I wanted to pop it up on some foam for some dimension, and then I needed to add the star, just like a normal Christmas tree, and also the sketch had a star. So these enamel shapes were perfect. I wanted to use the gold because they were sparkly and quite festive. And here I'm just quickly showing you how I adhered it down. So it's really cute. I'm really happy with it. And Azaria just loves it. She's so happy to see that little tree. So with the star, I found that the stickiness of that wasn't enough. So I just cut a tiny bit of foam because it needed to sit above the top of the tree, and I've just used glue, I think, to glue that down and to also glue the other side of it to the page, if that makes sense. And then I'm just using my finger there to lift up the layers of the doily. And then I thought, well, it's a tree and it needs some decoration, so let's get all the gold, small gold glittery enamel dots on here. This was like, it just tested my patience so much, because some of them, once I'd pulled them off, they didn't have adhesive on the back. I don't know if it's because they're old or what, but and also they're so small, and my hands are big compared to the size, or my fingers are big compared to the size of them. Tried to use my tweezers, but that didn't really work, and so just got with my fingers in the end, and some of them needed glue, as you can see there. And I didn't have enough gold, so I've added some pink in as well, and I think it looks quite cute. So here is the exclusive ephemera pack, and it's designed by Kim Watson, and so I immediately pulled out the word Christmas, and then I just went through. They're so cute. I just wish I had more time to make more layouts with this kit. I am determined to use it up. And I'm looking for a trunk from a Christmas tree, but I find this mushroom has the perfect little stalk. And so I was pretty proud of myself for being able to use it in a different way. And it's crooked, and I'll fix that very soon. And then I'm just gluing that word phrase strip down. It says it was the best family time. And then I've realised that I have stuck my little mushroom stalk wrong, so I've just lifted it up and fixed it. And this deer looked so cute poking out from behind the tree, and because it's white and it's got some red and pink blue on it, very minimal, just looks really sweet and doesn't take away from the tree but adds a bit more. So this is where I go off the sketch and add a bit more, because I like to embellish. That puffy sticker of presents, I wanted, if I didn't have the deer I would have put it there, but I've put it just to the right of the photo. It doesn't look right to me, so it will be taken off really soon. These are exclusive chipboard stickers, and I love that you can push them through with the backing on them and then move them around. And so I knew I wanted to call this a frozen Christmas, and it's kind of I guess we're in the Southern Hemisphere, we have a summer Christmas, so it's nice to be able to say it's a frozen Christmas, because of course she's holding the dolls from the movie, but yeah. So that's my title, and it's also not in the position on the sketch, but I'm going for a bigger title than what the sketch shows. So here I'm adding my journaling and just talking about how she was obsessed, and how Sean found these dolls for her, and how much she loved them. And I made sure that I put that she was obsessed with the movie Frozen, because if I just put Frozen, in years to come, I may not remember what that was, or she may not even remember. So here I felt like it needed a bit more, so I'm just adding these enamel shapes, and that is my layout. So I have some close-up photos coming at the end, and what you'll see is I added the squirrel on the right because I felt it needed something else. Thank you so much to Christy. I loved playing along with you and finally collaborating with you. Make sure you check out all of Christy's other amazing layouts. I just think she's just a superstar, making a video every day with 2 kids at home. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hopefully be back again soon. Take care.